This is a very interesting topic under the theme of productivity and quality management, time studies. And it is important because if you want to improve productivity in any aspect, you would want to think that um, time is taken care of. If time is wasted, of course, it's not a productive thing to do, and quality would be compromised for various reasons. And we just saw it this morning. And think about it, who are involved. Like if you were here from the time we should have started, what happened to your morale between between the start time and now? Um, so it is even if you whenever you start, you cannot make up for the lost time. The time lost is lost. You can think about it like, you could, for example, if half an hour is lost, you can think that uh, we could adjust it in the time for break or something like that. But in productivity and quality management, it does it does not happen like that. From that lens, the time which is lost is lost. Plus there is other factor in it. Like for example, if you want to analyze how much time is lost, let's say half an hour time is lost this morning. Yeah. So how much time is lost? Is it 30 minutes or more than that? It is not 30 minutes. It is way more than that. Like how many people are here? We have like 10 friends sitting here. So 10, that is at least the amount of time which is lost. Yeah. And this is how they measure lost time on the plant, in manufacturing, in service sector, and so on. So they would see, like, think about it. If 500 people are working on a plant and 5 minutes are lost, you can always say that those 5 minutes would be adjusted in the break. And that is correct. You can always adjust that time in the break, but still it is time lost. Uh, it is considered as time lost. So what I'm trying to say is that we always say that, we can make up for the time lost, and yes, maybe we can, but the time which is lost in terms of productivity and quality management. Because think about it, if you would not have lost that time, even if it is 5 minutes, uh, you would have done things earlier than your competition, your competitive, your other manufacturers, other type of businesses. So I would like you to think about it in that way. um, yes, so let's look at some of the, essentially I wanted to look at a couple of questions in that, maybe one or two questions under the theme of time studies. But essentially this is what it is, why it is important to measure time. uh, every step on the manufacturing plant should be calculated. um, the thing, how they place the machinery, where the machinery is placed, where the worker is standing on the machinery, uh, all of those, the layout of the plant, where things are placed, all of those things are part of time studies. Like for example, see where you are sitting. You must be sitting somewhere, I'm just thinking, most likely. Maybe someone is also driving or whatever, but just imagine yourself sitting right now. Look around you. Where are you sitting? How far is your door from there? How you have arranged your table? Where is the glass if you have to drink water? If you are someone who would want to drink water during the session, where you have placed it? So you would see that you have placed it at a strategic location where you can easily get it. I, I doubt that you would have put the 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 water at the other side of your room or where you are sitting, for which you might have to stand and go there. Of course, you can do that, but maybe that is not the best thing to do. You would want to put the things close by, and so on. And that is how you would want to put the layout of the plant. So all the things which are placed, I'm trying to say, on the plant, they are they are placed not because someone just wanted to put there. Someone has done some type of time studies that which is the best place to put what. Yeah. um, what is the easiest which route would be easiest if we put the things in this format? Which route would be easiest? So layout has a lot to do with time studies. Even sequencing of activities, like which thing you do first and which thing you do second, that also plays a lot of part in that. And I think before going into slides, I should show you a couple of things. I'm not going to, of course, play the clips here, but I can play, but without that is it. So what were some of the issues in that is also part of that. Here is again another very interesting example for us to look at. If you want to listen to the voice, you can play it on in your speed up the line. Yeah. So why all of this happened? This is like you could not understand the how much time it would take for someone to complete some job, proper time studies, and then giving them some type of relaxed time also. It is, for example, very interesting study, very interesting. You should listen to it maybe in your own time. I don't want to spend like 4 minutes just on this, but it's a simple thing they are doing. This is a nut, the bolt is there, and they are going to put the bolts on the nuts using two different techniques, how they do the job. Yeah. So doing the job in two different ways is going to change the time it takes to complete the job. So he has started the timer here, and he is doing the job. So he is picking up one nut and he is putting the bolt, and so on. He will continue do that. We can forward this is what he is doing, and he's just putting in, and we'll just see how much time it takes for him to complete the job if he use this method, and then he is going to show it to us. Yeah. So you can see it takes how much time it takes.
44.03 to assemble 10 assemblies. 10. And here's our final assembly.
I think 1 minute or
It's taken 1 minute and 44 seconds. 1:44.03.
144.03, around that time. Yes. So now what he is going to do is he's going to change his strategy. He's doing the same thing, but he has designed the job in a different way. So in this one, he has this tool, or this whatever you want to call it, and he's going to start the watch and see how he performs this job this time. He's using both hands, and he has put this mechanism, and he's doing the same thing. He's putting the bolts on the nuts, the same type of thing he's doing, but he has changed his mechanism and everything, and this is how he's doing it, using both hands and using a system. So how much time it would take now?
We've cut our time to 58 seconds.
58 seconds. Yes, 58 seconds. So first it was 1 minute and 44 seconds. Yeah, 1 minute and 44 seconds. Just using a different strategy, different mechanism, job design, or understanding the importance of time studies, or whatever however you want to understand. From 1 minute 44 seconds, he brought the time to 58 seconds. Yeah, you can call it like half or something like that. That is quite interesting thing for him to do, from 1 minute 44 seconds to bringing the time down to uh, 1 minute and
1 minute and
bringing the time to 58
bringing the time to 50.
seconds. Um, so think about it, just
So
changing
think
the
about
mechanism of doing the thing can bring the time at a lower level. And you might think that this is just this is just like 1 minute he saved, like for example 46 seconds, you might think that, but it is not that. Imagine that 500 people doing the same job or 100 people doing the same job, how much time he would have saved. Yeah. So this is something which you would want to consider for time studies. This is the importance. But in your own daily life also, you need to, simple things like how do you take shower. Yeah, how you bathe in the morning, let's say. So you would have your own okay, let me go. What about now? I hope, let me know if things don't improve. So okay. So how you bathe in the morning, for example, you would be spending whatever time. Let's say you are spending 15 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes, or some people just do it like in 5-7 minutes. Different people have different times to take a shower. So what is the difference, why it varies? Some people can take shower in 5, 6, 7 minutes, other people take shower in 20, 25 minutes. Why it is different? uh, you can call many reasons for this, but one of the reasons is how they sequence their activities, how they lay out the whole operation of whatever they are doing. Um, so and let me give you couple of more examples from here, because they are very very interesting and practical examples. You might not be working in a plant type of situation, um, but you can improve the productivity in your daily activities by working on these type of principles. For example, he is explaining how making a simple change can make a lot of difference. So here is the example. This guy works on the machine, and it needs some type of lubrication oil and those type of things. So he's explaining what he has he has done with that. So this is what he's doing. He was standing on this machine, but he has to come here and pick up this oil. Yeah. So he's explaining that even this 2-3 steps is kind of a waste time. So you want to minimize that waste time. So he's saying from there he is going to bring it here. Yeah. So he's pouring here. So he's going to make some mechanism that he does not has to go back and forth like this. Yeah. So although it is just 2 steps, so he for that he has made that hinge, like here you can see the hinge, and he has put the bottle on the hinge because there was no space. So he has put the bottle on this hinge. So The person who is working on this machine, he will just take out the bottle from here and put the oil, lubricate it, and that is about it. So now you and me might say that it is just one step, because think about it. He was standing here in the machine, and the oil is right here. It is not that much of a thing, yeah. But for real productivity, even one step or even 1 second wasted is a lot, because not just 1 second is lost. It depends on how much production is going on. So then you would want to multiply it by, let's say they have 100 machines like this. Yeah, they have 100 machines like this, and everyone is wasting 7 seconds to take the bottle from there and bring it here. So it's like 700 seconds are lost for the company. So they would want to use those 700 seconds to something they would uh, want to uh, think about. Yeah. So that is how you should be thinking in your daily practices also. And this is what lean is all about. Lean is all about taking out any any type of wasted time, any type of bottlenecks in the operation, even if it is 1 second, even if it is 2 seconds. It does not matter, as long as it is not very expensive. Because you have to look at, it's not about very expensive, it's about, you have to look at the cost. If that cost makes sense to you, only then you will do that. So for example, in this example, this cost of making this hinge, the company now has to decide that should we make the hinge or not. If we make the hinge, uh, we will save this much time, uh, and this will be the cost of making these hinges. So then the company will decide, what are they better off making this hinge and making this change, or not. And many times when you will take a role of any type of supervisory role or managerial role, these are the things you would be doing essentially on the plant. Because think about it, the mechanisms are already there, the company is established, it is running already, and the things are already in place. I'm not talking about a startup, I'm talking about any company which is already there. Like you get a work with Grace Kennedy, some plant for Grace Kennedy where they are doing something, it is already running, you are not making it run. So your job should be, your focus should be how to do these type of things, how you can do the same amount of things which were being done before you, but decreasing the cost and decreasing the time and efficiency gains and those type of things. So even these small things you are looking for, because small things will cost you less and they will save time. And let's see, you save 700 seconds here, 500 seconds there, 800 seconds there, 300 seconds there, and it is not very difficult because the plant is a big plant, there are so many things happening. So that when you combine all of that, you will see that a lot of time is there for you to play with. You can now decide what you can either use that time to do other things for the workers, or you can hire them for less time. So maybe you will decrease the working time half an hour for every worker. If you can decrease half an hour for every worker and 500 workers are there, you have saved 1000 hours. If per hour they were getting 1000 Jamaican dollar, you have saved the company 100,000. So that is what you would want to think about. But generally we don't think about these things in our daily routine things and household things, but we but we but we should. I think I have made the point, but quickly I want to show you this one also, because this one is linked with our daily lives, and um, I think someone is making some comment. Okay, method. Handle is saying 1-10-100 rule. Get it right the first time. So set up your operation so that you don't have to go to and fro. Maximize on time. Very good. Very good. 1-10-100 rule. If you don't know, just run a Google search on that. And this is important. Get it right the first time. Yeah, this is very important because especially in the layout of the plants. Uh, and you have done layout in the prerequisite of this course, production and operation management, MGMT 2026. Yeah, we looked at layout and design in that. So handle is absolutely correct because layouts are expensive. So once you have put in the layout, now to change it, because there are different types of layout, some are fixed, some are movable, and then you would have want to construct the building in the way which is going to facilitate your the whatever you want to achieve. So yes, getting it first, getting it right the first time. Even in planning a route to go on the road takes some planning and beautiful. Yes, this is what I was forgetting. Of course, thanks for reminding, Handel. So even where we do this many times automatically, like what is the route I should take from home to university? We just automatically do it that, okay, this is the fastest route. Or when you are going home from UV or from work, you do that. You think about it a little bit. Okay, on those road, that road is close, is like that. The distance is closer on that road, but at this time there will be a lot of traffic. So you would not take that road. You might take a longer road where you know that traffic would be less, things like that. But then you are maybe, you would have to think, consider different things, but these type of things you should think about. Here is an interesting example. They are showing us change the tire, and the timer is on, and they are showing two different methods simultaneously. So uh, it seems that of course the person, they started at the same time, they started at the tire flat, and they start at the same time, and it is just how they arrange the activities, what they do first, what they do second, what they do third, how they go about the thing. Yeah, it's the same thing they are doing, but it's different, different different strategies they are using. So you can watch it in your own time, and all of us should know that what is the first, second, third steps we should take to minimize the time taken to change the tires. Yeah, so you will see the difference in time is huge, because look at this person, the one in the the lower one, it seems he has completed the job, and he is driving out at 11 minute 20 seconds, something like that. But the one on the top is still working on the on the thing. Yes, so he's still working on it. uh, Now you can, like, the point is that some people can say that, you know, they would think it individually, and they will say, okay, if one is taking 12 minutes and the other one is taking 15 minutes or whatever, it does not matter, it's just 3 minutes more or something like that. But we are trying to think in terms of big operations. Yeah, so let's say if the same person needs to change tires for 100 cars, how much time he would have lost. Yeah, so, and now he is ready. He took like maybe 15 and a half minutes, the first one maybe took 12 minutes 30. So what we are trying to say, that just changing the layout, uh, organization of the task or something like that is going to make a lot of difference. There are other clips also, you can watch it. This one is my favorite. This one I really love it. It's very short, so you would have to pay attention to what is happening. It's very short. It's like a couple of seconds when it starts. So please pay attention what is going to happen very quickly. Yeah, so a car is going to stop and then go, and the tires will be changed, all four of them. And you have to just see how fast they are able to do it. Car has not arrived yet. It will arrive shortly. And see how they have positioned themselves and what they are doing and how many people are there. The car stops and change the tires and boom, gone. Yes, it's a very interesting example. Very interesting. Look at this. Car comes, stops, tires are changed, gone. Yeah. So let's see how many people are there. They are, and you should do some research on this because they are changing tire, but you will be surprised how much money they are paid. A lot of money is paid. Like these are real jobs. Like you and me would get that type of job it is, and what type of training they have to do for all of this, and how they how they have made this layout. Yeah, all of these things very interesting. Do some do some research on that. It is called pit stop. So when the car comes on the pit, it stops, tires are changed. Everyone has a job role, job like titles. You would have to do some research on this and see. So very fascinating, very interesting. The same thing, tires are changed, but because this one they really want to minimize the time. That is why they have employed so many people. Everyone has their specific job and they are doing it. So it's a, just like this example, any job can be done like this. Any job. You can choose any job and you do some type of research on it and you perfect the timing and everything. Any job can be done like this, but then it will cost you a lot of money. So that is why companies don't want to do it because they are doing at the end of the day they are doing cost, benefit, and everything. But in this type of racing environment, of course, time is of latest essence. They would want to, and you will also find that there are other examples which you can find that in the same section they fill the gas of the car. So they fill the gas also very quickly and you can search on YouTube and like racing car filling gas and burn, and you will see that the car it is very fast, but they miss one step or two, and the car got fire, and many times the driver also catches fire, and some very dangerous, deadly consequences are faced, and so on. Yeah. Think about these type of examples. So this is kind of a preview of this, but let's look at some of the questions which I wanted to look with you. The echo is okay now, or I hope it is. Otherwise, you would have told me. Time studies involve timing a sample of a worker's performance and using it to set a standard. Yeah, standardizing the job is, I think, very interesting, especially in the environment of plant, and because you have to find what is the way we can complete the job in the least time, and then you want to standardize it so all the workers on the plant they are following that, and then you will be able to save time. So in the initial stage when you are trying to see how you should organize the job, I think that is what one of the friends were saying, organization, how the job is organized. In that stage you can ask around and see how different people are doing it, and but at the end once you have decided then you standardize it. But standardize does not necessarily mean that you are going to not improve it, because when you will maybe join any nice company, they would have standardized their timings and everything. Still you need to see that because they, no matter what the job is, there are always some workers who are working more efficiently. So yes, they should follow the standards, but they are following the standards, but in that they are doing something which makes them a little faster, more efficient than others for whatever the reason is. So you need to observe those type of people also, as long as they are not as long as it is not harmful, or considering, you should consider the safety of the workers, of course. So as long as the safety issues are not compromised, always on the lookout to improve even the standardized uh, operations and stuff like that. Requires trained and experienced observers. Yes, that is, I think, very, very important. So as and as a productivity manager or quality manager, many times you would be observing on the plant, like looking how various people are doing it, and from your own experience from the past or your experimentation, you will see that how I can make this process more efficient. Because no matter how efficient the process is, there is always a way to improve it. There is always room for improvement. Like even the example I showed you, the pit stop, all there must be some way to improve it, even to couple of nanoseconds or whatever. So that is how you improve your operations over a period of time. Cannot be set before the work is performed. You have to perform the work and see and time, and after that you should standardize the time, and um, not without just, and many times you have to do that experiment to see that if you can standardize that time. Because once you standardize the time, then it means that anyone who is taking more time to do, if the standardized time is 2 minutes and other people are taking 2 minutes and maybe 5, 6, 7 seconds, you would want to maybe investigate that. Uh, there are some terminologies, I'm going to look at them shortly. Like I'm thinking these operations are like fast food, in their kitchen, how they take order, what they say first, what they how much second they should be able to take an order, how the line outside is moving and how the kitchen is moving. All those things are possible because of some type of time studies. Even inside the kitchen, how many seconds the chips should fry, what should be the temperature of the oil when we are putting in the potatoes, and after how many seconds we can take it out. These things are standardized. Um, so they have to follow the instructions right there, as they are instructed. It's just following the instructions, and maybe that is why those type of jobs are paid less. Yeah, because it is standardized, and not but not all standardized jobs are paid less. That is why I selected to show you that pit example of changing tires of Ferrari in the race circuit. And the difference there is that to do that type of job, it requires a lot of training, and the reflexes and even the muscles, you have to be like strong. And like if you saw closely, there were people whose job was to hold the tire in the air, as because they don't want to put it on the floor and in the air. They are putting it at a certain degree just to ensure that the movement is faster from that degree to change the um, tire. Um, so if a lot of training is involved, then sometimes the workers doing a standardized job, their salary can also go pretty up. Yeah. Okay, time studies. These are the 6 steps. Define the task to be studied, of course. Divide the task into precise elements, different elements. No matter what the job is, you are doing the job of washing the dishes. You can break in your kitchen, you can break that into different pieces, elements. Are you going to keep the water running, or you are going to turn the tap on and off? Where you going to put the soap? uh, all those type of things, whatever taking place. Even after washing, where you going to place them? uh, Many times we are doing those things naturally, but if you pay closer attention to whatever operation you are doing, for example in kitchen, you will see that you are wasting some time in some operations for whatever the reason. Maybe it is the layout of your kitchen or whatever. So those types are maybe fine in our at our home, but in terms of productivity and quality, and in terms of manufacturing plants, though, that is the job. That is why it is very important to take out any time which is maybe not used, because you are paying for that time. Decide how many, how, and not just to that person, you are paying for that job whenever that job is going to happen, no matter how many people are doing it. So that same thing, it's not 1 second which is lost, it is how many workers are there. And it's not just one day you are doing the same thing again and again. So how much time lost in the month, and how much time lost in the year. So even I've looked at some cases where they made changes of maybe 15-20 seconds, but because the operation was very big, and the saving was like phenomenal. You don't believe, like, wow, just by minor changes. And that is the beauty, I think, in for productivity managers, because sometimes people start looking for big things, and to make big changes you need involvement of a lot of stakeholders, you need permissions and this and that. But many times on the plant, you are minor things which maybe other people are not paying attention. If you go, you can show that you are very valuable to the organization. As a matter of fact, wherever you are working, you should look for these things. It does not has to be manufacturing. Any jobs which are being done, wherever you are, even if it is a desk job, I am sure that if you look around, you will see that how people are doing some things where they could do those things faster, but they maybe did not think about that organization which would help them do the things faster. So at least observe. I would invite you that in the following weeks, just observe and see how people are doing their jobs, and think, ask yourself that how they could do it differently. I think that is very important exercise. Just observe. Wherever you go in supermarket, you see how things are, how they have laid out the structure of the supermarket, from where the entry is, what happens when you enter till the time you exit. Just observe, see what is happening. Um I am sure you will find some areas where you will find that if that store or wherever you are, they change a little bit this and a little bit that, they will start saving the time. Although they have spent time on time studies, and they have done the layout the way they think will save them time, but we know that it when we observe, we find couple of things here and there. So I think that would be very interesting exercise for you. Like, you go in the bank, let's say, and how they have organized the line, or how they have put the layout. uh, it And some layouts you will see are very annoying, like it is very obvious that it is not the most efficient way to do it. So like fast food type of companies, you can see there, any company as a matter of fact, structure in some fast food places like island grill is also important and save time. Yes, of course, you should look at wherever you go, you should look for those things. The fourth step, time and record element times and rating of performance. Step 6 would be compute average observed time, and then um, you are you are making it normal time, determine performance rating and normal time, step 6. Then add the normal time for each element to develop the total normal time. That normally, what it means is that normally it takes this much time to complete the task. But before you standardize, anytime, as I was trying to explain you a while ago, that when you standardize the time, you also include some type of break in it, break or what can go wrong, or a little type of extra time, uh, that okay, yes, it takes 1 hour to do the session, but sometimes this can go wrong and sometimes that can go wrong, and sometimes we start late and sometimes the problem with the computer or something, and okay, we will give them 1 hour 15 minutes. So 15 minutes would be a little bit extra time. So when you are standardizing the time, always take care of that, because not all workers are performing at the same speed, and sometimes someone might want to go to washroom or something like that, or stretch yourself or something like that. So you are, before you standardize, you add some type of allowance. They are calling it allowance or extra time. That is what it is. So let's go back. You define the task, what you are going to do, divide that task into different elements, uh, decide how many times to measure the task, 5 minute, uh, 10 minute, whatever you are deciding, or 10 times, 5 times. Time and record elements, all elements, different um, different timings for different elements, or different pieces in the job. You can call it the way you want. And then you compute what is the average observed time. Then you make that observed time as a normal time, that normally how much time it takes. um, and then you are standardizing the time. And when you are standardizing the time, you are including some type of allowance. And once you have standardized the time and someone is taking more than that, then you might want to investigate uh, a little bit to see what happened. Are you okay? Maybe you need training. Maybe you are maybe not focused today, that is why it took more time, and so on. Yeah, that is what it is. And we will look at some example. Sometimes one customer takes more time to attend to that another. Yes. Yeah, so that is why you are standardizing the time. And standardizing the time would essentially mean that now if the standard time to attend to customer complaint is 3 minutes or 5 minutes. If it is 5 minutes, anyone who is taking more than 5 minutes, we need to investigate that. And we need to investigate that because standard time has included some type of allowance. So everyone should be able to do the job in the standard time. And then in that standard time is there would be some people who will be doing it very faster. Like for example, if the standard time is 5 minutes, maybe Handel will do it in 2 minutes, and I will do it in 4 minutes, and Feli would do it in 3 minutes. So all of us are fine because we are doing it within the standard time. But the manager, whoever the manager is, they will come and they will say, okay, Handel is doing it in 2 minutes. They will observe him, they will see what is happening. And maybe Handel is not taking some rest in the job, or He's just working, and then the company would see that if the job is of the nature where he is supposed to take some rest because the machinery requires a lot of focus or whatever the reason is, then they will ask handle to slow down a little bit. They will say, no, please slow down a little bit, don't do it that fast, because maybe when you are doing it very fast, maybe the quality is compromised or whatever the reason is. Or if it is the case that handle shows them that no, this job can be done 2 minutes, and in that time I have also rested and the quality is not compromised, then the productivity managers will come and they will observe handle, and then they will see that maybe the standardized time, which is 5 minutes, is too much, because all three of us were able to complete it within 4 minutes. So maybe, and then they will look at the wider sample and they will check all of the other people, and they will, after that they will decide what they want to do. And maybe they will promote handle, and handle's job will not be to work on the machinery. Handle's job would be to train other people, and I have seen that happening. Efficient workers, they are like just on the line, but they do some things differently and they get some type of different job or promotion. And I'm sure you must have also seen these type of things. So um, it's not just time, it's anyone who can show that they can save the company money or time or resources, whatever, it comes in the eyes of the company, and company likes them. Same point with the exams. Okay, all right, yes. Like for example, 1 minute for one question. What is that? Is it standard time or is it normal time? Yeah, that would be a good thing to maybe reflect on. Very good. Okay, let's look at some example, but before that, see the rest allowance. Yeah, rest. So although there might be 8 steps in the time studies, but if you think about it, it's very simple. And even if you miss some point, just look over it and read the chapter. It's easy to understand. It's not hard. So rest allowance, yeah, some type of allowance, some type of extra time. Different books would use different words for that, but essentially it is that it is that uh, it is it is essentially it is some time um, to unwind, or some time to, you can call it some time to relax, or anything you would want to uh, say. The edition I am using, it is chapter number 10 in it, but don't worry about the chapter number. Find the book in the library, and as I explained you earlier, you look for the topic, because in different editions the chapter numbers can be different, but the one I am using is chapter number 10. Personal time allowance, 4 to 7% of total time for use of restroom, water fountain, whatever. Yes, so it's different for different jobs. So in this environment, whatever they want to discuss, they are saying 4 to 7%, maybe a little bit downtime. Personal time, delay allowance based upon actual delays that occur, just like this morning some delay occurred. Yeah, so some allowance for that. Not for every session, of course, in the overall semester. So in the overall semester, of where the hours are like maybe 30 hours, 33 hours, 36 hours, depending on how different people are conducting their sessions. So out of those 30 hours, how many hours can be, there would be like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 15 minutes break for every for every for every maybe class. So there would be some people who would like to give like break for within every session, but generally I don't give breaks. So because then the break is gone in this type of situation. They're just like the delay this morning, so the breaks are gone there. Yeah. So but you cannot do that in the plant. You cannot do that because people would need breaks, and there are different studies on this. Like, for example, I was reading some study that mind can focus for, I think, 40 minutes or something like that. um, and they were like real studies, and they were saying that after every 40 minutes there should be some break to stretch or something like that. But I did not really pay attention to that, because uh, generally I don't look for breaks. But as different people are different, and of course, if I debate on that, you are going to say different things, just like Handel is saying that breaks are indeed important. So based on different jobs, uh, people would look into that things differently. But of course, there is no, the research indicates that breaks help in uh, improving the efficiency or productivity in many settings. So uh, uh, and then there would be some requirements also. There would be some requirements by different agencies, by different, so you would have to maybe give them also, like 30 minutes for half an hour, 60 minutes for 1 hour, and so on. So different and especially in developed countries, the rules regulations are pretty 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 difficult to follow for so it is very important that the manager understands these type of things and how their workers are going to perform, because you don't want to drain your workers also. Yeah, so yes, definitely breaks are important. Fatigue allowance, tiredness based on our knowledge of human energy expenditure. These, and there can be more things to this, but essentially the point is that when you are looking at standardizing the time, it is here in the formula allowance factor. And this allowance factor is all the things which are linked with giving some time off for various activities, which fatigue, delay, washroom time, whatever you want to call it. Anyways, let's look at one question. So here is a question, time study question, and there is a job, and job is maybe to send letters, and they have broken that job of sending letters into different elements: element A, element B, element C. Yeah, so first element, they are saying compose and type the letter. Yeah, compose it, type it. That is one element, because they want to time different areas in the job. That is why they have broken down into different portions or elements, whatever you want to call it. Then B would be, or two, whatever you want to call it. Second element can be type, envelope, and address. So they have decided that this is the second element, to type on the envelope. And third element, they have said that stuff, stamp, seal, and sort envelopes. Yeah, and but in the real world, no one is going to tell you what is element 1, what is element B, what is element C. No one is going to tell you what should be the standard time. Of course, you can look at the best practices and any type of law regulations and those type of things, as Handle is in the chat. Please review it. You can consider that, or your past experience, of course, those things. But I'm saying that no one is going to really come and tell you that this is how it should be. It's your job to decide which are different elements. And like, for example, you can decide that composing the letter is element A and typing the letter is element B. Nothing wrong in that. The idea is just that you are measuring each key element separately. So you can standardize the time for that element in the job. Why you want to standardize the time? So that you can know that if there is someone who is taking more time than necessary, if there is someone who is taking more time than necessary, then either you are going, what can you do? You can maybe train them, or maybe ask them what happened, how was your day, you are working slow today, everything is fine. Maybe that you can ask, or you can let them go, they are maybe not fit for that job. That is, now again, no one is going to tell you those things. It is different managers react very differently to different things. Anyways, so once you have decided that these are the elements, then in this example, they have taken five observations or five measurements or five different people. They have decided that they are going to observe time taken by five different people. So first person, when first person they observed, they saw that it took 8 seconds or minutes. Okay, in the question they say it takes minutes. So 8 minutes to do composition or type letter, 2 minutes to do element B, 2 minutes to do element C. So this is the first person, number one. First cycle observed, or first person observed, or first measurement taken. Different books are saying different things. Nothing to worry about. Just read how they are explaining, and read the written portion, and they will explain you why they are using whatever term they are using. A second observation you take. So now, why it is important to take multiple observations? Yeah, because you know that not everyone is on the same pace, everyone works differently, and you want to standardize the time. So you can't just take one observation. That is not nice thing to do. Neither you can do that. The person who is the fastest and most efficient, you take their timing and you ask everyone to do it like that. In the ideal world, in the ideal world, yes, you would want everyone to be efficient, but where you are going to find those type of workers? Over a period of time, yes, you can make everyone ideal. Over a long period of time, yes, it is possible, through motivation, through training, and uh, by putting in mechanisms, just like we saw in the example of how the guy used that board to put in the bolts on the nuts. Yes, those things can happen, but uh, you don't standardize against the best performer, um, generally speaking, in the sense of plants and manufacturing. Yes, of course, if you are like, you want like specialized, like the like in defense army, there are specialized units which are required to do very difficult tasks. So not a person might be able to go in the army in defense, but to they are selected for that, but to go in as a commando or like Navy SEALs or something like that, they would need, the standards would be very high, like their physical endurance and all of those things. They would want it like you can stay in the water for without breathing like for 10 minutes or 7 minutes, something like that. So not everyone can do that. So the bar they will increase. So for that, so but then of course their salary would be better, their uh, everything will change from that. So same way you are going to take observation second, third, fourth, fifth. Yeah, performance ratings would be given for different areas. So first step you are going to take any non-recurring observations or any unusual observations, or you can call them outliers, just like you must have studied in introductory statistics course or quantitative methods course, like the numbers which are unusual, uh, unusually high or unusually low, like people who are very fast doing the thing very fast, and the people who are doing the thing very slow. You will see that in the observation, like outliers type of number who are not matching or who are not very close to other numbers. So those numbers you will take out from the list, and you will have to decide yourself which numbers you would want to take out. You're going to take out those numbers. And why you want to take out those numbers? Because those are exceptions. Either they are very slow or fast. It's not normal. You are taking out those things from. So A, element A, these are the times different people took. 8 minute, 10 minute, 9 minute, 21 minute, 11 minute. So in this first line, of course you can see that it's 8, 9, 10, 11. That is the time other people are taking, and there is one person who is taking 21 minutes. So definitely, if you put this in averaging or taking out time, it is going to impact the averages. So you are going to take out this number. Yeah. So again, in this question, they have put static here for you to know, but in the real world, you will have to decide which numbers to take out and which numbers to keep. And you can decide that based on your own experience or market standards, industry standards, and so on. Yeah, second one, you can see one, two, two people get two, two people get three. No, it's everything is close. So you will just you'll say, okay, no outlier. Element C, two people are taking 1 minute and two people are taking 2 minutes. No one is taking 3 minutes, no one is taking 4 minutes, and there is one person is taking 5 minutes. So because two people are taking 1 minute and two people are taking 2 minutes, it seems that it's like 1 2 3 1 2 3, that type of numbers are okay, but maybe 5, although it is very close, but it does not seem very close. Yeah. So in the first example here, it was 1 2 3, it's all close. So in this one, it's a little kind of outlier. But then in the real practical world, you can decide. Then you will have to give your reason why you are keeping 5. What is the reason? But generally, you will take it out. So now when you are doing any type of calculation, remember to take out those outliers. That is what the point is. So average time for A, you are adding all the numbers except the outliers, and remember to divide it by 4, not 5. Many times our friends divide it by 5, but it can't be 5 because you have taken out 21. Same way, you are just doing the averages, add all of these, divide by 5, add all of these and divide by 4 because you have taken out 5. And that would be your average time. On the average, it would take 9.5 minutes to complete job element 1 or step 1 of the job, and so on. Yes, this is not standardized time, and remember you have to standardize the time. So you can see if anyone is taking more than that to uh, write and send the letter. Then compute the normal time. So first was average time. These are average times. Now the normal time. How you calculate normal time? You multiply the average time by rating. And what is the rating? Rating is this: 120%. If you want to convert it to, if you want to change the percentage, it would be 1.2, because that just like what would be 105? 1.05. Yeah. What would be 110 percentage in decimal? It would be 1.1. Yeah. So these would be the performance rating. Again, in the question it would be given, but in the real world, performance rating is not necessarily given. You would have to decide what should be the performance rating uh, for every element, and so on. So this is what they are doing. 9.5 was the normal time here, 9.5 or average time. 9.5 was the average time times 1.2. That would give you normal time. So 9.5 times 1.2, and these are performance rating, and this is how you calculate the normal time. Then you calculate total normal time. That's even easier. You are adding all the normal times for all the job elements A, B, C, and that will give you the total normal time of composing to sending the, did they send the letters? Yes, seal, and they did not really send the letters. They are just finalizing the letter, stamp, seal, and sort the envelopes. So they are finalizing the letters. So from composing to finalizing the letters, you are including, you are adding all the time, and that would be your total normal time. And once you have normalized the time, then you are standardizing the time. In standardizing the time, you are incorporating the allowance factor in that, and the allowance factor is given in the question. Allowance factor 15%. But again, in real life, if you are productivity manager, you will decide how much percentage of the time I should give as allowance or free time for them to do different things. And you are just putting in the numbers. 15.36, how did you get it? You got it from total normal time, and 1 minus 0.15. What is 1? It's part of the formula, 1 minus allowance factor, and you will get 18.07. Anyone now who is taking more than 18.07, you will investigate why they are taking this much time. What is the reason? So everyone should be able to complete the job within this time. Um, and then you can investigate further. If someone is taking way below this time, what is happening? Are they using some unsafe method or something like that? You can think about that. Yes, Handel, you want to say something, or anyone else? If you want to say something, please go ahead. So this is what is standardizing the the time. Yeah. Okay, so you don't have to memorize these for for MCQ exams. Okay, work sampling. This is also very interesting. Work sampling. It is just saying that you can't look at all the pieces. You have to sample the work. So you would take some type of sampling and observe that, and based on those observations you will make your decision, whatever decision you want to make. You can of course look at all the elements or all the pieces, but it will be very time consuming. So that is why the idea of work sample. Just like you have like 1000 workers on your plant, can you really check all of them? Yes, you can, but then how much time it will take, and so on. uh, but nowadays, because of technology, I think um, these things are possible. Cameras are there, and those type of things are there. So it's possible to look at more people than we were able to look in the past. Maybe estimate percent of time a worker spends on various tasks. Yeah, different tasks are there. How much time the worker spends. Require random observation to record worker activity without notifying them. Maybe randomly you are checking how much time they are taking on different people. Determine how employees allocate their time. This is interesting. Workers are there. How do they allocate their time? How do they take breaks? Do they don't take breaks? Where do they take breaks? They take break in the start, or in the middle, or after every job, or at the end, or they don't take no break and continuously work and they want to go home early. Different. If you have given the workers the chance that they can take they can take 20 minutes break anytime during the 2 hours job, then they are free to decide based on their own energy levels and interest and whatever you want to call it. Can be used to set staffing levels, reassign duties, estimate cost, and set delay allowances, and all of these things. By work sampling you can do those type of things. This is like in the last question there were 6 steps. This one has these steps. You can look them in your own time. I would like to look at one question. So work sampling, you are determining the sample size. What size of a sample what size of the sample I should select for observation? How big should be the sample size, in other words, to make conclusive suggestion? So task can be any task, but because you cannot observe all the elements, that is why you are selecting how big your sample size should be, so that whatever you decide is whatever you decide makes sense. This is the formula. You are just putting in the values in the formula, and this is the scenario. um, there is a manager, and the manager wants that his workers should be idle 25% of the time. 25%. Yeah, this is the scenario or question. 25% of the times the worker should be free, not working, doing something else, relaxing, drinking water, whatever, not doing the real work which he is supposed to do. Like, it is a lot of idle time, 15 minutes for every 1 hour. That's a lot of time. But different jobs require different times, so the manager can decide whatever they want to decide. And the sample should be accurate within 3% standard deviations. Wants to have 95.45% confidence in the results. So 95.45% confidence level should be that much, not 100%. They are not going for 100% or 99 something. They are saying they are okay. 95.45% of the total observations, what they have selected is fine. And in this question, it is sample size. So n, as you would know, n is the required sample size. You can see here there is a z in the question. Where do you get z from? You can take it from the table. Z values from the chart, you can take that uh, from the chart. So because they said 95.45, you will take this z value of 2. If they wanted that, they want to be confident on the sample size 99.73% times, they will you would want to take 3 as the z value. Just taking value from the z chart. And estimate of ideal proportion p is that. So what proportion? Because it is proportion, that is why you are converting the percentage to proportion. Yeah, 0.25 of 1. Yeah. And then acceptable error of 3%. Again, this was given. Sample size should be accurate within 3%, or you can call it how much error is accepted in the sample size. And then you are just putting in the the numbers, and you will find out that it's 833 observations. You will have, okay, let's look at the interpretation of this, what it means. It means that you would have to take 833 observations, and from those 833 observations, then you should see if the worker or the workers are taking 25% idle time or not. Only after taking 833 observations, you will be able to say with 95.45% confidence that 25% of the workers' time they are spending it as idle as free. Yeah, so think about this. Only after taking 833 observations, the manager can say with 95.45% confidence that the workers are or are not taking 25% idle time, free time, because the officer or the manager wants his workers to be free 25% of the time. So he wants to check if they are doing that or they are not doing it. To check that, he will have to take how many observations? 833. So he can't take 5, 10, 20, 30 observations, and in those observations he might find that yes, 25% of the time workers are taking as idle time. He cannot say that with 95.45% confidence. To be at this level, he will have to take 833 observation, and then you can change this to other numbers. Like if you want to be more confident, like you want to say that I want to be confident 99.73%, I want to have that much confidence on my observations that things are happening the way I want them to happen, which is 25% idle time. Then you will change this 2 to whatever number comes here, 3. You will put 3 there. Yeah. uh, okay, so then he goes and he takes 833 observations. The manager can do it, or he can assign someone else to do it. So number of observations, they go and do 833 observations. Of course you will not be doing this in the exam or anything, but just trying to explain in the real world how you will do it. You will take 833 observations, and then so you are going there and checking and seeing if what the worker is doing. Are they free, not doing anything? Are they doing something personal like drinking water or going in the washroom or whatever? Are they talking on phone or something, texting? Are they speaking with the supervisor? Are they doing uh, some type of data entry, some type of work? So you are just segregating activities, different activities, and you are just going there taking observation. Okay, I went, this is what they were doing, one, 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 and eventually once you have taken 833 observation, it might look like this. Yeah. So in this 833 observation, essentially you want to ensure that the workers are idle 25% of time. Yeah. So because you are doing, remember, you are doing time studies, and within that time studies you are doing work sampling. So in time studies, we spoke about standardizing time, and in standardizing time you saw that there was some allowance factor and those rest time or whatever you want to call it. So sometimes the manager want to ensure that if I have given time off to workers, time off means time off, they should not be working on the equipment in that time for whatever reason. Maybe the manager thinks that with the break their productivity will improve. So everyone has to take it. So that is the background of doing this calculation. So now at this stage, they would want to calculate how much idle time the the workers are maybe spending. Yeah. So idle time, this one 126. Of course, this one is idle. Is there any other idle time on the phone or meeting with the welfare client? Maybe this is work time. Discussion with supervisor, it is part of work. Speaking with supervisor. Filing meeting and computer data entry, yes, part of work. Personal time, not part of work. Idle time, of course, not, you are not doing anything. So idle time plus personal time, 126 plus 62. If you can, both these times are kind of free time where he is not doing something specific to the job. So take out a percentage. What percentage is that of total observation, which is 833? So 126 plus 62 divided by 833, when you do the calculation, it is going to come to 22.6%. So the worker is, here is the interesting part. So the worker is free or idle or not doing things related with the job 22.6% of the total time. Yeah. So what do you think? Is it okay? Is it not okay? What the manager needs to do? What the worker needs to do? How would you respond to that? If the manager asks that 25% of the time you should be free, and your calculation comes that the worker is free 22.6% of the time, what is happening? Anyone? Okay, so our friend is asking this example, why was not the 21 used in the in computing average? Anyone can answer that? Why 21 was not used? Why we took out 21 from the last question? Why this 21 was not used? No one remembers that? That's very interesting. Very good. Yes, it was considered outlier. Yeah. So 8, 9, 10, 11, very close. So because this is far away, so you take it out, you don't include it. If you will include it, your average is going to not going to, maybe the worker was like sleeping, or maybe he started talking with someone because it's way off. And even if he was working throughout, he's taking far more time than other people, so he needs to take some training or something to come closer to maybe 10, 11, something like closer to here. So that is why we are taking outliers. Yeah. And this question which we just looked at now, since this is less than the target value of 25, the workload needs to be adjusted. And how this workload needs to be adjusted? Yeah. What do you think? Should he be given more work, or he should be given more free time? He should be given more free time. So he is working more than, he is working more than, no problem. And good that you pointed out, just to clarify, because many times people would add that 21, and they would add all of these, would add, they won't take out outlier, although it is easy to understand, not very hard. But because there is no static in the exam, it's just numbers are given and you have to decide which one to take out. And sometimes our friends don't take outliers out. So if you are not really clear about this concept of outliers, read a little bit about it, run some Google searches, try to understand what are outliers and so on, and remember to take them out. Okay, so in this example, what will happen that the workers should be encouraged to take more idle time or more personal time and bring it closer to 25%. That is what it is. Not really hard. These are just examples of different, like how for one job how they put the job into different elements, and how they would, after doing all of this type of calculation, you can present it in any diagram picture form. This is what it is saying. So work sampling, time study, sales per people, what are the different things they are doing? They are traveling, they are doing paperwork, they are doing lunch and personal, meetings, telephone within firm, uh, sales telephones, sales in person, they would do sales in person. So from this, you can, maybe the company can decide that, okay, I want to give my salespeople 20% of the time free, where they are not doing the things which are linked with job, because I want to make them comfortable. I want to, so they are more happy with the job, that, yeah, they can have downtime, and so on. So in this, sales and person, travel, work, meetings, telephones, work related, everything. So only lunch and personal is only 10%. Yeah. So maybe you are a generous manager, you will say, oh, I'm going to give 15% time to my off time to my workers, and if that is what they want, yeah, you would want to give them. That is why it is important to do work sampling and time studies and stuff like that. And we do it naturally sometimes, like, we are like, you'll say, oh, I'm tired, we have done a lot today, so let's have a break, and we'll have a little break. And so we do it like, sometimes in the sessions people do it like that. But in the workforce, in the plants, manufacturing, a manager has to think a little bit more deeply, because he's not going to give, when he's going to increase the time from 10% to 15%, he would have to calculate that how much time it is, how much time in minutes I'm giving off, because he's not just giving off time to that one job, he's giving that time off to all the people who are doing that job for equality reasons, and so on. Yeah. Similarly, this is the example. I don't think I really need to explain that. Attempt the question on the next slide. Here is the question, just like the question we did a while ago. The first question we did. So you are standardizing this job, whatever the job is. I have not told what job it is. It's just whatever the job is, element A, element B, element C. So these are the observations. So in the question we look together, there were 5 observations. In this one there are 6. It does not matter. It can be 100 observations. The system remains fine. Um, the performance ratings are given. In the real world they are not given, but in this question they are given. Allowance factor is, for this job, whatever job it is, 20%. So without going to the next slide, do this calculation in your own time. You can go back to this question and follow these steps. Computing normal time, total normal time, standardizing it, you can go back, but don't go to the next slide, which is the last slide, because the answer is there. So I'm saying, just look at this question, go back, attempt it, see if you get the same answer as in the last slide. If the answer is same, very good. If the answer is not same, check back again, go back to the question, compare notes, and try to find where you made the mistake. And I think that is good for, uh, this was the last topic for your uh, so work measurements. Yeah, and time studies. Thanks for that.